Welcome to Camp Leaky. Camp Leaky was established in 1971 by Dr. Birut Galdikas and Rod Brindamore. Galdikas was encouraged in her dream of studying wild orangutans in the forests of Southeast Asia by the late paleontologist Dr. Louis Leaky. Dr. Leaky was also mentored Jen Goodall and the late Diane Fossey in their respective studies of chimpanzees and mountain gorillas. Camp Leaky is the site of the longest continuous study by one principal investigator of any wild non-human animal in the history of science. Dr. Galdikas and her associate have logged over 100,000 hours of observation on focal wild orangutans in the 50-kilometer study area associated with Camp Leaky. Early at Camp Leaky, we encounter the famous orangutan, Tom.
Tom is one big orangutan.
Tom was the largest orangutan we were to see on the entire safari. He weighs well over 200 pounds. Notice that everyone gives Tom a wide berth. But in fact, Tom is famous for being a gentle giant.
Tom.
Here we see Tom lying down on the boardwalk. His parents were rehabilitated orangutans, but Tom was born and raised in the wild. Orangutans may appear smaller at close quarters on the ground than when seen at a distance in the trees. One reason for this lies in the relative length of the legs. About 50% of the height of a human is accounted for by the legs, while in orangutans, the equivalent is about 40%. More significant is the fact that the orangutan's arm span is much greater than its body height. At up to 8 feet when outstretched, the adult male's arms make him look enormous, especially up in the trees. Male orangutans are the world's largest tree-dwelling mammals, but owing to their weight and bulk, they sometimes have to descend and travel on the ground, even in their rainforest habitat. From birth to the age of about 8 years, male and female orangutans are similar in size and appearance, although males average a little larger. After this age, males continue to grow, ending up much bigger than females. Wild mature females of 10 years or more weigh an average of about 73 to 180 pounds. Wild mature males above 15 years are much bigger, weighing about 154 to 280 pounds. Well cared for zoo animals are usually larger and heavier than their wild counterparts. Mature females in captivity may reach 176 pounds and males 420 pounds. Indeed, many zoo orangutans become obese, a consequence of a daily high-quality diet and little exercise. All orangutans are extremely strong for their size, a fact belied by the scrawny arms under their long hair. Orangutans have hands similar to those of other apes and monkeys. The feet are very similar to the hands, with long, flexible toes, and the big toe, known scientifically as the helix, is opposable to the other toes. The hip joint is as flexible as the shoulder and arm joint. Together, these features make the orangutan well able to climb and travel through and between trees. Younger and lighter individuals are even able to hang upside down by their feet. Orangutans are classified zoologically, along with other apes, monkeys, prosimians, and humans, within an order called Primate that has its origins in the Eocene epoch about 55 million years ago. Over recent decades, there have been significant changes of opinion among researchers on the way in which orangutans, humans, and other primates are believed to be related to one another. Our changing perceptions are based partly on new evidence from fossil discoveries and anatomical comparisons, and more especially on comparison of serum proteins and DNA sequences. The most general current view among zoologists is that orangutans, gorillas, chimpanzees, bonobos, and humans fall within a single zoological family, the great apes, known scientifically as the hominidae or hominids. Originally, the name hominidae referred to the living human species and extinct human-like relatives, while the other great apes were placed in a separate family, the Pongidae. Now, with a whole array of available evidence from fossils and DNA, it seems that the living great apes and humans, along with a variety of extinct great apes, including hominoids of the genus Homo, evolved from a single common ancestral ape. The current scientific view is that the living orangutans are regarded as belonging to two species, with three subspecies of the Bornean orangutan, but some researchers hold alternative views to this classification scheme. It seems that the apes, defined in simple terms as primates having no tail and relatively large brains, split off as a new group from the Old World, meaning African and Asian, monkeys about 25 million years ago. The ape line split at some time between 15 and 18 million years ago into lesser apes, such as gibbons, and great apes. After that, many forms of great apes evolved, most of which are now extinct, leaving the 7 living species that we have today. DNA evidence suggests that the orangutan, genus Pongo, split off at some time between 11 and 14 million years ago, and the gorilla, genus Gorilla, 7 million years ago, while the chimpanzee, human, genera Pan and Homo, split started about 6 million years ago and continued through several extinct genera to the evolution of Homo about 2 million years ago. Viewing evolution in this way helps us to understand why scientists claim that humans and chimpanzees are more closely related to one another than are chimpanzees and orangutans. The simple view of the orangutan diet is that these animals eat fruit. All researchers who have studied wild orangutans agree that seeking food and eating represent the activities that use up most of the ape's time and effort, and that the kind of food that orangutans prefer is fruit of almost any kind, but particularly those fruits that are rich in carbohydrates and protein. Fruits in tropical rainforests are not like fruits in temperate forests or in plantations, in the sense of large amounts of just a few kinds being available seasonally. But nor do fruits in tropical rainforests come in a constant abundant supply of many juicy varieties. Tropical rainforests have strong seasonality in flowering and fruiting, based largely on the occurrence of very dry and very wet periods that vary from year to year in spacing and intensity. Exact patterns and amounts of rainfall vary to some extent from valley to valley and hill range to hill range. Coupled with differences in soils and other factors, this means that peaks and troughs in fruiting are different between localities over wide areas, while within a particular locality there may be periods with very little fruit interspersed with unpredictable peaks.
Tania Leaky
Laika?
Leika.
No veo nada, no se ve bien.
And we see that Tom, the gentle giant, has come today to the feeding station. It's notable that Tom is not a bully, and he allows the other orangutans to take their share of bananas as well. Again, the point needs to be made that most of the orangutans in the forest do not come to these feeding stations. Only those that are comfortable in the presence of humans will do so. Although Tom's parents are rehabilitated orangutans, Tom himself is a wild-born and wild-raised orangutan. He probably became comfortable being around people because his parents were comfortable with that. He puts on quite a show for the visitors, and many of them like to come and see him.
Hop, hop. Wait.
Más cositas. O sea,
Prueba que está sujeta. Y ahora la espalda.
And now a fun sequence of events has a lesser ape, the gibbon, trying to get to the platform occupied by orangutans so that it can get some bananas. Look at those long fingers on the gibbon. Leaving the Camp Leaky feeding station, we came across some baby birds in the hollow of a tree. This was about 3 feet above the ground.
I have it set off.
Individual female orangutans give birth to only a few offspring during their lifetime, singly and at intervals in excess of 5 years. Males play no role in caring for the young. Both in the wild and in zoos, orangutans have a lifespan of over 30 years, and many live as long as 50 years. Wild orangutans are among the least sociable of all mammals, spending most of their life alone after they have left their mother. Groups of orangutans living in close proximity in zoos are much more sociable and generally amicable as well. What we are seeing now is a young male orangutan. We're about to have our lunch on board the boat, and this orangutan was nice enough to come by and inspect our boat.
He's on the boat. He's getting food.
Help! Help! Help!
Now, is this a wild or a habituated one?
That's rehabilitant.
Holy cow.
Yeah, on the left side, yeah. The rules of the dance.
Okay, so we see an orangutan nest.
And here up in the forest canopy high, we see what is an orangutan nest.
All the dead leaves there. And that's where they rest for
Orangutans
the night.
construct these nests in the evening,
And they
and
only
they
use
function
the
to
nest one
protect the
time.
animal from the rain. Because each nest is used only once, the orangutan must construct a new one each day. Heading back down the river, we encounter some of the birds of the Tanjung forest. We were happy to see the Changeable Hawk Eagle, a large bird of prey that occurs in the Tanjung National Forest. The white-bellied woodpecker was seen in a tree along the river. This woodpecker is one of the largest woodpeckers to occur in the world, attaining a length of in excess of 19 inches.
Oh, Sama.
White rampant.
Nepenthes ampullaria.
And hiking along a trail in the forest, we encounter a species of Asian pitcher plant. This is Nepenthes ampullaria. Unlike other Asian pitcher plants, Nepenthes ampullaria does not have a hood over the opening of the pitcher. Hence, rainwater can readily enter the pitcher and dilute the digestive enzymes that are contained in the fluid of the pitcher. As Nepenthes ampullaria thrives very well in this forest, this particular characteristic of this pitcher plant, the rainwater entering it, does not seem to harm the functionality of the pitcher plant. Indeed, they seem to be thriving here very well. This red-colored pitcher results from being more out in the sun.
And here we have a bird's nest fern.
This path is where we leads you to the Nepenthes and also to the feeding. Yeah.
Okay, great.
And here we encounter another species of Asian pitcher plant. This is Nepenthes rafflesiana.
And now Eddie's showing us the pitcher plant. We look down in there. If you could just angle that a little. There's some of the liquid coming out. If you could open that lid, please, and we could look down inside.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. We're looking right into the pitcher. And the lid on this particular species, obviously not all of them have lids, but the lid on this particular species keeps rainwater from getting, too much rainwater from getting in and diluting the digestive enzymes that are in the liquid at the bottom of the pitcher. And of course, these plants live in typically low nutrient environments that are low in nitrogen, and they get the nitrogen they need from the insects that they consume. And these are passive pitfall traps. Insects are attracted to the lip of the pitchers by nectaries, and
Oh, I
and they
found
slip on the surface.
this dead
What is that? Oh,
moth.
yeah, the dead moth that
Yeah.
was in there. That's one of the things that was consumed by the plant. Yeah. So Eddie's going to put that back in there so the plant doesn't go hungry. There we go.
Okay.
There we go. Great.
Yeah.
See, the ants are attracted to the nectaries, and sometimes they slip on the waxy lip of the pitcher and fall in, and they can't escape, and then they drown and get digested. Here's Eddie standing right by the pitcher plants here. And you can see them growing up here. These are very large ones, yeah.
And this is what I thought Ampullaria also.
That Rafflesiana, I think, on this one.
Oh, sorry, yes,
Yeah.
Rafflesiana. Let we check what's in there. Maybe sometimes we found a dead ant.
What do we got there, Eddie?
It's like all
Small insects?
small. It's already digest.
Okay, yeah, they're already digested then. And we see these plants growing here, and then nearby we have a stand of them growing way up here. So many, many pitcher plants. The pitcher is on these plants here, going all the way to the top of the shrub. And now Eddie's
Ants,
looking
yeah.
at many
Dead
dead ants that have been found inside that pitcher.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these plants are eating well.
Yep.
And again, the nutrient they're really missing is nitrogen. And so these plants can live in low nitrogen environments where other plants can't live. And again, they get their nitrogen from the insects. So that's a good way to supplement your nutritional needs when you're living in an area that has soils that are low in the nutrients such as nitrogen. Paulette. Right by the pictures.
It'll be your favorite picture of me.
Of course.
Ya bang, apa kayaknya?
Gary biasanya anu
Pen.
Epen.
Enggak ada pen aku lihat. Enggak.
Apa tanggal kan?
And here we see a long-tailed macaque selecting items from the surface of the water right near Rimba Lodge.
Second ladder, huh?
Yeah. Maybe they got tired of moving around there. Oh,
My bottle cup got
here
in
we
my
are.
pocket.
They have no little seat we can sit on here. Huh.
And your spider web.
Yeah. Pretty cool from up here. Pretty cool from up here. Get an orangutan's eye view of everything. And we encounter a nice false gharial here.
young crocodilian. And now we observe a troop of proboscis monkeys crossing the river.
Let's go forward. We'll get that little guy on video.
Bro, maju, bro, maju dikit. Either they're gonna come up here or not.
And now the mother with the baby hanging underneath her is getting ready to cross. Here comes the baby. The baby's hanging underneath. And here she goes. The baby could not hang on as the mother leapt from the tree branches of one side of the river to the other. So the baby fell in the river and had to swim to shore. Monkeys are very good swimmers, unlike great apes other than humans, which cannot swim at all.
Swim across. It's okay, there is a boat here to save you from crocodile. Hah?
Pertahannya belum aku nih.
And here we see the alpha male proboscis monkey. Notice how very large his nose is relative to the other proboscis monkeys that are members of this troop.
Okay, Hakeem, let's take the other ones first.
And now we're about to do another bird
Let's try
release.
these guys.
We purchased these birds
so we
in
can see
town
them.
by going down the river and back into the town.
Then John, why don't you get down in the
I
front of the
think
boat?
if he releases them, opens them up this way, we can see
We
them,
have here
and they can
about
fly
6
out towards
hanging
us,
parrots.
and we can both sit down in the chairs.
Okay, I was thinking if we released them towards the front of the boat, we could be up there.
And one fairy
Or whatever.
bluebird.
Yeah.
No, I don't think there's enough room.
Okay. Just give me a second here.
Okay, ready?
No.
No.
Before you release the top ones.
Yeah,
Okay?
first
These
release the
parrots
bottom
are
one.
captured by the
Okay,
people who
Eddie.
sell them in town.
Let's see what we got with these birds.
They reportedly use a glue-like substance on branches. The parrots alight on that and they get stuck. And this is how they capture the parrots and other birds that reside in the rainforest. Now, these were not the healthiest of
Eddie, if
hanging
these
parrots.
birds can't fly, you're going to
We
be
watched
taking
this
care
one
of birds
fly
for a
off,
while.
and because it flew off rather weakly, we decided to keep the
Oh, I
other
don't
birds,
know.
and Eddie was going to maintain them for several weeks to get them healthy. Eddie finally did return the birds to the forest after he got them healthy again.
These do not seem like healthy birds.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Two of our hanging parrots were quite healthy, and these we released that same day that we bought them. This is one of those hanging parrots. However, he seems a little bit reluctant to leave. There he goes.
That's how they should fly.
Is there still one in there?
Excellent, Eddie. Excellent. Those are two healthy parrotlets. And let's try the other one.
Asian. One? The Asian?
Yeah.
Okay. Now?
Here's the Asian. This is an Asian fairy bluebird.
Yes, yes.
And this one costs us a little bit more money. So this is a bird rarely seen in the forest here. And Eddie's going to let this one go.
Yeah. That one's ready to go.
Yeah. Okay, excellent, Eddie. We got them. Eddie, you've inherited some parrots to take care of there. If you can save one or two of them, that'll be great.